The Queen's Betrayal. Once upon a time, in a small Igbo kingdom called Ugweke, there lived a beautiful queen named Nneka. She was married to King Ezeudo, a wise and powerful man loved by his people. But Nneka had a dark secret buried deep in her heart. Before she became queen, she was deeply in love with a palm wine tapper named Obinna. They had planned to marry, but when the king saw Nneka, he made her his wife, ending her relationship with Obinna. Though Nneka enjoyed the luxuries of the palace, her heart still longed for Obinna. She would secretly meet him at night in the forest where he tapped wine. Their forbidden love burned brighter with every meeting. One fateful night, as they sat under the moonlight sky, Obinna whispered to her, "Nneka, if only King Ezeudo was not in the way, we could live together as we once dreamed." Nneka's heart raised. The thought of being free with Obinna tempted her. That night, a dangerous idea began to grow in her mind. The next day, she began plotting. Nneka mixed a deadly poison from herbs and hid it in her room. A week later, during a grand feast, she poured the poison into the king's wine. She smiled sweetly as she handed the cup to him. "Drink, my lord. May the gods bless you," she said. The king drank deeply, unaware of the treachery. Moments later, he clutched his chest and collapsed. Chaos erupted in the palace. The queen cried and pretended to mourn, saying, "Oh, my husband, the gods have called you too soon." The people wept with her, never suspecting her hand in the king's death. After the king was buried, Nneka wasted no time. She began sneaking Obinna into the palace. They would meet in secret chambers, laughing and dreaming of their future together. But the gods see all things, and in the king's court, there was a clever old prince named Okeke. He had noticed the queen's strange behavior after the king's death and began to suspect foul play. One night, Okeke hid near the queen's chambers. He overheard her and Obinna laughing about how they had gotten away with murder. "The fool trusted me," Nneka said. "Now I can finally have my true love." Okeke was horrified. He wasted no time. The next morning, he called the council meeting and told the chiefs what he heard. The elders were shocked but decided to act carefully. They invited Nneka to a special meeting to honor the late king. During the ceremony, Okeke presented a sacred kola nut to Nneka. Unknowingly to her, the kola nut was enchanted to reveal the truth. As soon as she touched it, she screamed and began confessing. "It was me," she wailed. "I killed the king for Obinna." The people gasped in disbelief. The guards quickly captured Nneka and Obinna, dragging them to the village square. The elders declared that such wickedness could not go unpunished. Nneka and Obinna were tied to a sacred tree and left for the gods to judge. The next morning, the villagers found their bodies lifeless, covered in a worm of ants. The gods had delivered their punishment. From that day, the story of Nneka and Obinna was told across the land as a warning, and so the kingdom of Ugweke returned to peace, but the memory of treacherous queen lingered like a shadow.